Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Resham, and if you watched my previous videos, you would know I was stuck in India and I literally thought there was no way for me to come back to Canada unless the travel ban gets lifted. But I did find a route and finally I'm back home in Canada. So for today's video, I thought I'll just come over here and share my own experience of traveling during travel ban, the route I took, etc, etc. So without further ado, let's get on it. As most of you would know, Canada is not accepting the COVID RT-PCR result from India. So if you want to travel from India to Canada, you have to go to a third country, get another COVID PCR test done, and then that result would be accepted by Canada. The route I took was via Serbia, as you would know from the title of the video. So I went from India to Serbia via Germany, and then from Serbia to Toronto to Canada via Poland. For the first part of the journey, that is from Delhi to Belgrade, I flew Lufthansa, which of course flew via Frankfurt. And then for the second part of the second part of the journey, which is from Belgrade to Toronto, I flew LOT, Polish Airlines, which flew via Warsaw. So the flight from Delhi to Germany was 8.5 hours long, and then there was a layover of 13 hours, actually more than 13 hours in Germany. Now, because of COVID, most of the restaurants and shops at the airport in Frankfurt were closed, but there was still a lot to do. There were 2 coffee shops open, there was bakery open, and the best part was there were Xbox stations, or Xbox lounges, whatever you call them, and it was super fun. So that's something you could do if you go to Frankfurt Airport. One important thing, at Delhi Airport, they were looking at each and every document very carefully. So please keep in mind to have some extra time in hands for check-in, because you will need that. The documents required are passport, your Canadian permanent residence card. It is also required for transit through Germany, so keep that in mind. And then your air tickets, and when I say air tickets, I mean every air ticket they were looking at, not just for your flight to Serbia, but also from your onward journey from Serbia to Toronto. So have everything in your hands. And then hotel bookings, including the bookings, the government approved quarantine booking that you have to do for Toronto. You have to show them that as well. And then COVID RT-PCR test result. Now, an important point here is that for your flight to Serbia, the requirement is that the COVID PCR result should be issued within 48 hours before arrival in Belgrade. So that's something very important to keep in mind. And then your travel insurance, it's optional, but because of COVID, me and my brother-in-law took it. So maybe you should too. I would recommend that. But another important thing which everybody has been asking me is, no, you do not need a visa for Serbia. So Indian nationals, if you have Indian passport, you do not require a visa to visit Serbia. Of course, there are rules like your visa should be less than 30 days, I guess, something like that. But mine was just 2 days. So that wasn't a problem at all. There's not even a visa on arrival. We just do not need a visa. I got this, it's a PDF, I guess, or a Word document, which I found online about Indians not requiring visa for Serbia and what all you need to show. So I'll just link it down below in the description box. Check it out. So that's it. And the immigration in Belgrade was a breeze. The immigration officer only asked us a couple of questions like, what are you doing in Belgrade? For how long are you gonna stay here? Show your hotel bookings. And they, of course, asked us to show our ticket for onward journey to Canada. So that's something you need to show and keep that in hand so you're not wasting time there. What else? That's all. And then they had let us go. Now, once you reach Belgrade, we arrived in Belgrade at night on 10th, and then we had 11th and 12th. So on 11th, after breakfast, around, I think it was 11 a.m., we went to Thorlak Institute for our COVID test. Now, an important thing to keep in mind is, if you do not go to Thorlak, I think it's called Thorlak. You know what? Let me check. How do we pronounce Thorlak?
Torlak.
So,
Torlak.
okay, stop. Okay. So next day in the morning, you can go to Torlak Institute, which is, we stayed in Republic Square in, which was the name of the hotel? City Point Square, something like that. I'll put it in the description box. So we stayed there, and then from Republic Square to Torlak Institute, it was around 20 minutes drive. Really easy. There are two ways to get the test done. One, you just go there, and another one is you can book an appointment in advance, then you don't have to wait. But to be honest, we didn't bother, we just went. And if you go to any other place than Torlak Institute, they will send your sample to Torlak Institute for processing. So I would suggest, do not waste your time and go directly to Torlak Institute. Get your test done there, and you will not be able to pay for the test at the institute. So they will ask you to go to a post office, which is like 10 minutes walk from Torlak Institute, and then you pay there and you go back to Torlak Institute with your receipt and then get the test done. It was super easy, and you get the result back within 6 to 8 hours. They will also give you an email address in case you do not get the results back in time. Then you can email them and just inquire for your test results. And that's what happened with me. So they told us that we will get the result by 8 p.m. that night, but we did not. So I emailed them with my and my brother-in-law's passport number, and then they sent me back our test results within 5 minutes. I think they mentioned that they had sent it before. I still don't know where it went. Doesn't matter. We got it back, and that's it. You can get the printout from the hotel. So that's again super easy. And then we had an entire day on 12th to just roam around and explore Belgrade. So yeah, and I'll upload a vlog about my travel to Serbia and the entire journey. I'll upload everything, all the details. You'll see airport, you will see every single thing. So stay tuned for that. So after Belgrade, this second part of the journey was from Belgrade to Toronto via LOT Polish Airlines. So the flight from Belgrade to Warsaw was, I think, 1.5 hours long, and then from Warsaw to Toronto was more than 9 hours long. To be honest, when I was booking this, I had never heard of LOT Polish Airlines. I know, but I have not heard. And it was fun because we were thinking, is it even legit? But damn, it was a good flight. It was a good flight. I'm glad I decided to take that route. Now, another important part. The documents required for the second part of the journey, which is from Belgrade to Toronto, are your passport, of course, your Canadian permanent residence, your air tickets, which you would have already booked, of course, and then your hotel bookings. Again, government approved quarantine bookings that you have to do for Canada. You have to show it before you can check in. And then your COVID RT-PCR result. And for Canada, your COVID RT-PCR should be taken within 72 hours before departure. So if you take the journey just like me, 2 days in Serbia, those are enough to get your test done and get the result in time. And then you have to upload everything in Arrive Canada app. So that's very important. Without this, you cannot check in the flight. So keep that in mind. There is an app, Arrive Canada, where you have to upload about your quarantine hotel booking, your final place of quarantine, and your COVID result. After you are done with all of that, you will get a e-receipt from the Arrive Canada app, and you have to show that e-receipt before check-in, then again before boarding, and as soon as you enter Toronto. So that's something very important to do. So yeah, once you land in Toronto, immigration again was a breeze. The immigration officer only asked us a couple of questions like where are you coming from, why were you in India, what you did in India, etc, etc. They looked at our COVID test result, obviously, and e-receipt from Arrive Canada app, and they told us all those things, that you have to do quarantine and you cannot leave your place of quarantine before 14 days and all of that. But then after immigration, we did take a COVID test at the airport itself, which was day 1 on arrival, and they also gave us a home sample collection kit, which you have to use on day 8, which for me was today. Oh, and oh my god, let me tell you about that. Let me move on and then I'll tell you about that. And then you go to your hotel. You can take Uber or you can wait for the shuttle. We waited for the shuttle. So the test you took on day 1 at the airport, you will get that result back within a few hours. We got it next day morning because our result was done around midnight on 13th, and we got the result in the morning on 14th. And then you stay there for 3 days. Actually, I've also read that you are free to go if your result is negative, but we did stay there. And at checkout, you just have to show your negative COVID test result to the person on reception desk. Once you leave the airport and you go to your place of quarantine, you will have to let them know using Arrive Canada app or a phone number. I'll put the phone number in the description box, the details about it, and then you call that number, automated number, and you just tell them you have reached your hotel or your other place of quarantine, and that's it. And then you stay there for 3 days, and every single day you have to report your symptoms. I will show you how in a second. And then when you reach your final place of quarantine, again you have to call on that number and let them know you have reached your final place of quarantine, and you keep on reporting your symptoms for the next 14 days.
Welcome to the Government of Canada's Arrival Notification and Symptom Reporting Line. Bienvenue à la ligne d'avis d'arrivée et de déclaration de symptômes du gouvernement du Canada. For service in English, press 1. Throughout this call, you will be asked to provide and validate information. If you do not provide this information, or if you provide false information, you could be charged with an offense under the Quarantine Act or issued a ticket under the Contraventions Act. If you would like details on how your personal information will be collected, used, and disclosed, press 1. To continue with the call, press 2. Before we can continue, we will need to confirm your identity. Please enter your most recent date of arrival into Canada in the format of a 2-digit month, 2-digit day, and 4-digit year, followed by the pound sign. For example, if you entered that you arrived on, you can now proceed with the rest of the call. You can now begin your symptom report for today. We will be asking you to report on 3 of the known symptoms. If you have a fever, press 1. If not, press 2. If you have a cough, press 1. If not, press 2. If you are having difficulty breathing, press 1. If not, press 2. You have now completed your symptom report for today. Please remember to report every day during your quarantine period and monitor for other known symptoms. It is important that you comply with the requirements of the Quarantine Act and the emergency orders made under it. For more information on this and consequences of not complying, please visit canada.ca/coronavirus. You can also refer to the instructions you received at the border. To repeat this information, please press star. Otherwise, you can hang up now.
Okay. Regarding the day 8th test, it was today for me, and let me tell ya, I was really frustrated. What they do is they send you a text message a day in advance and they tell you when you should be logging in. So for me, they told me you should be logging in between 11 and 12. I logged in at 10:55 a.m. and guys, I logged in and I stayed there and I stayed there. I waited and I waited and I waited. I was number 500 something in queue, and then somehow when I reached around number 10, it got disconnected, and then I had to call again, and then I was number 893 in line, and then as soon as I reached 50, disconnected. Yeah. And then third time I called and I was number 1102 or 3, something like that in line. And then I waited and I waited and I waited, and finally I got in touch with the nurse, and then she explained everything to me. I did the test in front of her, packed everything, and then finally it was done. But oh my god, I logged in at 10:55 a.m. in the morning and I was done at
5:10 p.m.
It's not the same for everyone. My brother-in-law got it done in 30 to 45 minutes. So, but yeah, for me it was very frustrating to say the least, but I got it done today. So guys, that's all. That's my experience and all I did. If you want to see the details of my travel and what you can do in Belgrade and all the fun stuff, just tuned in, because I'll be uploading a series of videos vlog style, and I would love for you to watch them. So if you like this video or if you found it useful, please do not forget to hit that subscribe button and like button, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. If you like this video or if you found it useful, please do not forget to hit that like button.